All right, last time we set up this image plane, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit Shift and the space bar, and that allows me to zoom in on just this view. That's Shift and space bar to zoom in and out. And what we're gonna start doing is, and this is really what the bulk of your assignment is, you're gonna be modeling this entire environment. So I'm gonna go up here to Tools, I'm gonna go to Pro Builder, and then Pro Builder Window. And this is what opens up a lot of the tools for us. So I'm gonna kind of scroll in, I'm holding Alt and middle mouse clicking to pan, my wheel in to zoom. And I'm going to click on new shape here. All right, so here we are. So I'm going to go ahead and click on new shape. And what that does is that brings up this new shape window down here. And there's all these different shapes. So the first one we're going to look at is creating doorways. So I'm going to click on this. And anywhere there's a doorway, that's this big dotted area, I'm going to left click and I'm going to drag out. And you might have to do this a couple times to get it right, the doorway. And then I'm going to release my mouse and I'm going to move my mouse upwards and you can see it starts to create a doorway. Now if I hold Alt and left click, you could see it did a pretty good job. These are, you'd use these sliders to kind of move it. If you click off of it, you lose that kind of ability to, or if you hit W for move, you'll lose it. So you'll be kind of stuck with it. So for now, I think that's a pretty good doorway. And it's good to just kind of practice anywhere there's a hallway. So for instance, here's a hallway. We can go to new shape and then click the doorway. And we're going to just drag out a big doorway here, move our mouse up. And what you want to take notice of though too is how high are you making these doors? And you might be like, well, how do I check that? So I'm going to hit W to go to my move tool to cancel that. And honestly, I might have made this too narrow. So I'm going to press play and pause it. All right, there we go. Finished loading. And I'm going to show you in a second how to speed up load times. But let's hit Shift and Spacebar to exit the screen and then click down here and hit Shift and Spacebar. Actually, let me hit escape. Sorry, let me try that one more time. So let's hit play, and it should, because it's on play maximized, maximize our game scene. Now notice there's this like long reload time. Let me actually show you how to fix that right now. All right, so in edit, and then I think it's project settings, I want you to go to editor and then scroll down until you see a thing that says enter play mode options. Check this on. It'll uncheck reload domain and scene. And now when I press play, it should load up a lot quicker. Yeah, there we go. See how quickly it is? So now I can walk through this doorway. Let's see how our character does in this doorway. I'm going to hold shift to run. Yeah, that's not too bad. He gets through. Pretty good. And it's okay to kind of, and actually I might just not do play maximize. It looks like it's really tanking my computer. But it's okay to go in here and like kind of fudge it. So here you can see there's these options. I'm going to click on face mode. I'm going to left click on this particular wall here and just move it over a little bit to give my character more space. And the reason why I say fudge it a little bit is because sometimes in games we need that that extra space. So let's do a couple more doors. So I'm going to go to new shape here and I'm going to click on door. And same thing here, just this huge area. And actually, I think the doorway really is just this. And it's these two fold-out doors. Let's do something like that. And you know, we can eventually kind of go to the side view and just see the, let's see, side view. There we go. See the, and I think we can do 2D and then do, I know there's a way to do orthographic, so they're all roughly the same thing. Now, another way of doing this is if you know all of your doors sort of face the same way. So for example, here, let's say you have these doors here and we have this door and we can just reuse this door. I'm going to hit Control and the D like duck key and that duplicated it. Or you can right click and go to duplicate. And then I can move this where I need it to be. So let's say we want to put this door here. And let's hit F to focus. And then I can go in here and I can do that same thing as before where I can just kind of play with the wall size. So there's our exit. Don't worry about the stairs just yet. I don't even know if I want to make you guys do stairs. Now, here's the thing. Let's go ahead and create some walls. So you have this object here, and what you're going to do is you're going to go to edge mode here, and you're going to just select by holding shift all of these edges, or you can kind of like highlight this, hold control. Well, let's kind of do it manually. So I'm going to select this, holding shift, this, and this. Notice I selected those 4 edges. Then I'm going to hold shift, go forward like that, and then one more time creating another face here. Yeah, actually, you know what, let's stop that one there, and I'm going to just select these 2 here and hold shift, closing this off, and then something like this. Oops, we should have grabbed it looks like I missed an edge. Let's try that one more time. This edge and this one, I'm going to hold shift and then hold shift here, and then close that, grab these 2 here and hold shift. All right, and there's that. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab these 2 edges here. Now remember, I'm in edge mode here, and I'm holding shift and I'm clicking on the arrow. So you're just kind of lining it up to somewhere like this, holding shift again, and then I'm going to grab this edge and hold shift and move it down. Now if you overshoot it a little bit, like that, you can kind of move those. I grabbed the verts, see this vert thing? And slowly getting there. So same thing here on the inside here, I'm going to grab this edge, hold shift, just kind of close this up. Let's see. Now if you have any things like this, let's go to edge mode and select where these edges, see how there's a emptiness there? There's other tools here. You can scroll down with your wheel and you can click on bridge edges, and that'll close that up. And this one, let's close that up. And so we're getting there. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control S to save our level. And same as before, just go ahead and press play. And you can see we're getting there. This is a really high house, you know, getting there. So I'm going to hit escape, and then I'm going to uncheck play. I'm going to hit Control S again. So we're really just kind of, you know, now another way of doing this is you can use some of these other tools. You know, obviously we can, you know, we have another doorway here, so we just go new shape. So really the first step and is just to kind of like click over here and select the whole area, build a door, and I'm kind of eyeballing it, right? And it looks like those settings for the door kind of got screwed up, so let's kind of play with this. So here's the height, and then side width. Ooh. Oh, you know what? It looks like when I go this way, it's thinking it's still straight on. So we might have to either use that same method, or you can, you know, let's see, I'm going to hit W. I can select this door, hit Control D like duck over here. In the Y-axis up here in the inspector, type 90. Hit F to focus. Kind of just move it over here. Now what you want to do is, if you go to vertex mode and you like this method where you kind of like left click and drag out a marquee, you'll notice that it'll either select them or it won't select them. The reason is you want to make sure that select hidden is, I believe, off. Oh no, it looks like you got it. Yeah, so I mean select hidden is on, actually, is what I have. And it looks like that allowed me to select the front and back. So now with those, I can just kind of move them over here. Like that. And just always make sure that you got all of them, because they can get weird. And same thing, this is a great spot for that bridge tool. And looks like pretty good. Let's we want to kind of eventually connect all of these walls. So if I select this one, it's like that, holding shift, I can kind of move that into here. And it's okay to just like have them intersect for now. Doesn't necessarily have to be one complete closed off area. And then the last thing, um, holding shift, kind of moving it over here, is deciding on how high you want your ceiling to be. So if I click on vertex here and I select this object, this is like kind of a good time. Like we got pretty far ahead where I can like grab all of those and just move them down if I'm like, you know what, I want the height to be about that big, like all of them to be roughly the same size. Same thing here. Let's see if we can grab these. Just kind of close up this area here. Now, what I generally do, and you want to kind of look for gaps like this. Let's see, where they're not really lining up. Let's grab this edge and maybe we can move these down a little bit. So it looks, it's like not a difficult process, but it's a time consuming process. So, all right, so I can walk around. I'm looking around. Looks cool. We're in this room. All right, now what I'm going to do is, this is a patio, so I'm assuming there was no real there was no real walls for a patio. This probably belonged in the great room, but let's assume that the patio area has open doors and it has this little spot here. What I generally do is, let me close Pro Builder, is you have all of these doors, right? Let's see. We got this, this, and this. So what I do is I right click in here and I go to create empty and I name it patio. And then I just sort of look at which one of these are in part of the patio and I just kind of drop them all in this patio area. Now they do share walls with the inside of the great room, and that's okay. And that way when we need to, we can turn off certain rooms. So this room is here. This wall is part of this door here. And then this wall is, let's make sure this is under patio and not door 4. There you go. So that's our patio area. And then you can shrink your area here. Now your assignment is going to be essentially just finish all the walls of this area. So that's why I said you might probably want to go with something a little bit smaller than this, and or this size really for the room that you're going to go in, because we're going to make the office and then we're going to pick one of the rooms and sort of model out some of the furniture and duplicate it around.